Hi, hello, and welcome to the Galactic Consulship Report brought to you by Vertex of Abundance. My name is Serene Priestess of Blosi. I'll be your oracle today. If you're new, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. It's a delight and an honor and a privilege to serve you. Thank you for allowing us the pleasure to do so. You belong to welcome home. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and do the sign videos. And we will be returning to the This Might Hurt Tarot by Isabella Rotman. It is published by Liminal 11. And depending on whatever platform you're in, you can go ahead and click through to the player settings on the video or the audio and increase the speed. There's sometimes where I'm a little bit silent for a second. And again, my name is Serene Priestess of Blosi. I'll be your oracle today. Vertex of Abundance, the Galactic Temple of Ascension, delivering sacred messages from behind the veil. This is designed for the rising. So normally we start with Gemini, but we're doing Virgo this month since it's a little bit late and we're just returning. We usually take a break for a little bit after the retrograde. Okay, so we have Page of Wands, and it's the first card out. I believe it popped out face up. What does that mean? It's a petition from our higher self, okay? Page of Wands is the target. Now, it could mean multiple different things. If there was any warfare, Page of Wands would talk about the target, but it could also mean our spirit body, our etheric body. It's typically somebody that's being prepared to receive a transmission of some kind, typically because of the lineage, maybe even the bloodline. Otherwise, it would be somebody that's just beginning to discover their drive, desires, passions, motivations, okay? We also have the Death card, World, and the Tower, El Torre. So the overall energy is the Page of Wands, Death, Tower, and the World card. Again, I repeat, the overall core crystallized concrete energy for this entire reading will be the Page of Wands, Death, World, and the Tower. Now, we will have additional cards come out, but those will be to clarify and modify these original meanings here. What I know already is that on the precipice, already we're dealing with some kind of transition, okay, with this death card. It can be an ego death, it can be a strict or stark ending, especially with the tower. Typically, when the tower and the death card come out, it could mean a couple different things. It could be the end of conflict, it could also be something rather severe. And if you're on the video, this is the Priestess Kitty, Priestess Chandi, the Temple Kitty, Priestess Chandi. Okay, so we also have the Death and the World card, which means a chapter is ending. And then when we have the World and the Tower, that could mean some kind of literally like a chaos zone. I know there's conflict on the global stage, so but it does mean a, you know, WAR zone. Now, it means that in the subconscious, some type of culmination has been seeded, but we do have to go through a reckoning, a revelation. We may have to dismantle something. It's not usually like a bottom out or a complete reset when the world card is there, but it has to deal with our incarnation because the Page of Wands, if you know the mysteries behind the cards, it does go a little bit with the world card. Okay, so we skipped right to the point here. Ten of Wands, followed by the Knight of Cups, Queen of Pentacles, Knight of Swords. So a double knight with the Tower card does mean conflict, competition, battles. It can be some type of battle or, you know, open warfare. And this Ten of Wands with the Page of Wands means feeling. Pages can talk about feelings, feeling oppressed, feeling burdened in some kind of way, shape, form, or another. Now, the thing here is that we have a lot of corresponding cards. The Ten of Wands goes with the Page of Wands, the Queen of Pentacles goes with the World card, the Tower goes with any of the Knights, especially the Knight of Swords. And then the Death card goes with the Knight of Cups. So the Knight of Cups Death card would mean Mars in the 8th house, 1st house, or the sign of Scorpio. It could also be a Scorpio rising. This Knight of Swords with the Tower card would typically mean somebody with their Mars in an air sign. Aquarius is the first thing that came to mind, but Gemini or Libra to a lesser degree. This does not look debilitated, and I did hear Aquarius. Why do I say it's not debilitated? Because Mars doesn't do very well in Libra. You have to have a very special chart for that. Typically, the house position is very prevalent. The word is debilitation. And then when you have a Queen of Pentacles with the World card, typically it means that somebody is sitting on the combination of their work and they're waiting for the results to show up, or they're leveraging some kind of security from work that's already been done. Literally, the word is works, plural. So this is about a journey to the depths of the soul because there's an inner tension. We have the Order of the Thrones and the Cherubim. So this is somebody that's probably learned to be a little bit vulnerable, and they learn to trust people who are able to handle that vulnerability, but to cut those who don't. Whether it's that ghetto hood street cut or just eliminate by curating the friends groups very strictly. Whether it's refined and elegant, polished, or cutthroat and hood, it don't matter. Nobody cares. Handling up on business is coming through hardcore, coming through, pulling through, standing on business. That's the Knight of Swords. It means swift, rapid movement, typically to exploit or to seize. And it can be some type of event, especially with this tower, but this Knight of Swords is bringing in what we call a revelation. And the revelation here in the tower, typically, the word is decrustation. It will shake up any type of ineffectual or crystallized concept and idea that's not helpful, it's not serving. So if there's some kind of stuck, malaise, obstacle, it's being destroyed here. Two of Cups, Six of Pentacles, Hangman, Two of Cups. Yeah, so like I said, we're trying to hold on to certain types of connections, bonds, unions, whether it's soulmate unions or whatever, one-on-one relationships, being on the same page, Two of Cups. Now, for a Virgo rising, the sun is going to be moving through the first house. And this reading is designed for the rising sign. If you don't know your rising, my dear, start with your North Node, okay? Now, for Virgo rising, sun in the first house, that means we're going to have growth, expansion, vitality, enumeration, maybe even renewal or healing to our life path, spirit, karma, destiny. That's the first house. It's our drive, desires, passions, motivations according to the calling on our life. And since it's a earth rising sign, we call that Artha Chakon, which means the fruits, the blessings, the benefits of the other things that we're doing, the Dharma, the Artha, the Moksha, which means how content and fulfilled are we? Are we mindful? Are we present? Have we begun to reap what we've sown, which means at some time other than now, typically in the recent or distant past, we would have had to plant those seeds in order to reap those benefits. We would have had to sow those seeds in order to reap those benefits. We would have had to make the investment in order for at a later time, perhaps now, the investment to yield, meaning bear fruit, pay off. Now, there's a couple few things here. 2 weeks ago, there was some type of equally beneficial nursing needs exchange or solution showed up to something that we had to figure out. A prayer is being answered in some kind of way. The thing we needed to figure out, when you have the Tower and the Hangman, that means a little bit of passive aggression. I feel like we're moving into new boundaries, or we're moving into new places and spaces, and we're working to step into alignment. But some people in our environment around a location are going to feel some kind of way. They're going to have some things to say, maybe to our face, maybe behind our back. They're going to feel some kind of way about it. And you know what? They may not like it. They may not understand it. They may not agree with it. We definitely will not care. That's what I'm seeing here. We put in the minutes, we put in the time, the energy, the effort, and attention. We made the investment at that time. So if it didn't yield, if they didn't handle up, show up, level up, boss up, glow up, G up, if they didn't come through, pull through, come hard, come harder, stand on business, that's it. It is what it is. That's what it be. It's how it's going to be at the end of the day. And we're kind of becoming fine with that. It's like what it is, what it is, and we're not going to feel any other way about it because we put in the work. And yeah, some things got burned down to the ground or shattered or illusions got dispelled. We're having all of that. Yes, all of that. There's some endings here, kind of stern, kind of strict, kind of severe. Severe is the word. When the Tower and the Death card come together, it's severe. Because what's happening now is we're getting spaces and places made that'll hold us. And safe space is a misnomer. It's really brave space. Do you have what you need to be brave in that space? Because not everybody's going to be safe. An able-bodied person accidentally might make a disabled person feel unsafe. A heteronormative person might make a queer person feel unsafe. A privileged person might make an unprivileged person or an underprivileged person feel unsafe. A Christian person might make a non-Christian person feel unsafe. It's never really intentional, and if it is, that's a very small percentage. You know, Sometimes we need to stop and we need to listen. Sometimes we need to be accountable and open and curious to what we're hearing without all of the defense and the explanation and the, you know, make it this way because this is how it's always done. No, that's how people are doing in that subgroup, that setting. And it's not always about how you show up, how you present, what class you're in, money, all that. It can simply be about standards and boundaries. Maybe we have a refined sensibility or we have a need or whatever. You can be the ripest, juiciest peach in the world, and you could be a blue ribbon winning peach pie, and the person you're trying to give your slice of pie to could be allergic to peaches. So feeling some kind of way because they don't want your slice of cake or pie when they're really allergic, and it's not, move how you move. Sometimes we're gonna have to move out the way. But we get to keep on moving. And that's just the thing here. There's gonna be people in our environments or on our location, probably in our distant past, in our rear view, that feel that it's unfair that we've left them behind. Now we have a pair of sixes here. So when you have a pair of sixes, it means support, grants, favors, choices, blessings. We're receiving. Now, Six of Swords is receiving grace. Six of Pentacles is receiving favor. And when we have the Justice card in the Page of Wands, that could mean that there's a Libra rising here as well, or that somebody has their Venus in Aries or in the first house or the seventh house. We also have a pair of tens. So a pair of tens means culmination, completion. A cycle's coming to a full ending and we're moving into the next stage. So there's going to be some type of transition. The death card typically talks about that because the ending already happened. We just don't realize it. Typically with the hangman would mean now you have the perspective of something which up until recently you only had a small perception of. Now you have this enlightenment when before you had to surrender and sacrifice. You had to let go, let God. You had the wrong position or relationship you had the wrong angle, the wrong line of insight. Now you have this leverage because you've reached a fulcrum or there's been an inversion of some kind where now the hindsight has illuminated, enlightened you in some way. When you have the death card and the hangman, it means soon with the world card, an impasse is coming to an end. So we have a couple few combinations here because there was also a miscarriage of justice in some kind of way, shape, form, or another. Justice card with the hangman. That's when a loophole gets exploited. You know, some kind of oopsie or unfairness. And then the universe, the divine comes through a pair of sixes. We have a pair of sixes and a pair of tens and a pair of knights. A double knight means conflict. So if we are us versus them in some kind of way, because now we have the devil, the emperor, and the three of wands. So somebody may have their sun in Aries. There may be sun in the seventh house, which means the person has ego problems. Not always bad. They might have no ego, no self-interest, no ability to stick up and stand up for themselves. If it is an us versus them, which is not going to be that way for everybody, then the devil on this side over here would talk about the enemy, the energy, the entity, the ideology that's operating against us. The enemy, in terms of the devil, literally means the adversary, the great adversary. It typically talks about fear, ignorance, illusion, or falsities. It's an unhealed, unawakened person that is standing in that kind of energy. They're refusing to learn. They're refusing to go. They're ready to be ruminating, oscillating, vacillating in hate, marinating in venom in some kind of way, shape, form, or another. It could also be to a lesser degree that we're dealing with some kind of, because we have the King of Pentacles here, so combined with the devil, that could be a sun in Capricorn or a Capricorn midheaven, which would mean an Aries rising. We also have this Knight of Cups, which would mean we could be dealing with a Cancer rising. Most likely a Scorpio rising, though. Somebody could have their Mercury or their North Node in Capricorn as well with this Ace of Pentacles. Because what I'm getting is that there were energies, there were orchestrations, machinations with the magician and the devil, saying that there was some kind of obsessive compulsive self-interest that left the sphere of unhealed, unawakened, and became some kind of spiritual consequence. When we were bound to a situation momentarily or in the past, where to show up and to participate, we would have had to sacrifice a part of ourselves. And it was the devil that you know versus the devil that you don't know, stuck in a hard place kind of energy, hangman and the devil. It was no bueno. It's a non-starter. It's non sequitur here because also we have a pair of twos now, two of swords, two of cups, and we have a pair of threes, three of cups, three of wands. So a pair of threes means that there is some type of collaboration, cooperation, co-creation. With this three of cups, though, it would talk about, could be gossip. The devil gives everything a reverse kind of meaning. So magician in reverse, that means lies. It means duplicity in the terms of like falsifying statements, falsifying documents, falsifying receipts, falsifying testimony, especially with the three of cups. Three of cups in the magician means testimony, witness. So we're getting fake love, fake esteem. What is the definition of respect? To hold somebody in high regard and well esteem. It's non-real here. The Justice card with the devil also talks about demonology, and then the Emperor's card with the devil talks about, well, a couple things. The Emperor card with the devil talks about criminology. So we have criminology and demonology here. With the Ten of Wands, that would be true. That could talk about sentences. Because I was hearing some type of ruminating, oscillating, marinating, and hate, ruminating and venom, oscillating and venom, marinating and venom. You know, I was looking for the Five of Wands, the Eight of Swords. I didn't see it, but then the Ten of Wands was the one that was talking. Because that's how I knew. And then this pair of twos here, that means not quite a union, but a partnership. Because this Two of Cups also with the devil here would mean it's a false friend. It's a false bond, whether it's a friend, a lover, whatever, what have you. It's a false. It's not a true, authentic union. And it could be a soulmate union, a twin flame union. Not every union even has to be, level of a coitus copulation. It could be their soulmate that before we came here to this life, we decided to help each other activate onto their path and fulfill their mission, serve their purpose in this life by answering their calling in some way, and we were serving as a catalyst. No, these people were serving as an example of what not to do, of who and how not to be. And the test, or maybe a test with the Tower, I gotta say. And it's the kind of test that is not an evaluation. It's a pass or fail. It's an examination. It's not one of those tests that just lets you know where you're at and what to do better next time. No, this tells you if you're this tall to ride this ride. Some tests are examinations where you get a pass or a fail. Other tests are an assessment where you get a grading to tell you what to improve. This was an examination. Are you ready for the next? Have you learned this lesson? And on our end, we have. It was a difficult lesson, my dear, with the Tower. I'll say that. And we have a little baneful energy here. The Tower and the Devil means that somebody has very ill intent. With the Queen of Pentacles, it could be even sorcery, but I'm not seeing a preponderance of eights or fives. It's something that happened already, and they're trying to move out of it. But that tells me that it's an intentionality. This is not something accidental. This is not something that they'll do better when they know better. They'll do better when they don't want to get caught. So there's an energy here of not wanting us to move on, to move forward, to go on, to be about what we're about, to handle up, and to, get going in our life. They want to see us kind of stuck so we can placate whatever meticulously curated narrative that they have for themselves in their life. They're actually hyper vigilant, hyper insecure, hypersensitive in some kind of way. And every time they see us winning, it's an offense and an affront to them. That's what I'm getting. And that's if we're dealing with another person. If we're dealing with ourselves, this is our lower self. In the distant past, or maybe even the recent past, we had to pull through, come through something. We were struggling, completing, walking into abundance because the universe, the divine, Adi Baba, Sky Daddy wanted us to figure something out. And we're to surrender and sacrifice, let something go. And now we're sitting in the energy where we have. So if we continue to not feed the thing that was sucking us dry and depleting us, then whatever orchestrations, machinations that were at play, whatever kind of perfect storm that was going to happen to lead to a negative result or even compounded karma, it doesn't have the juice. If you feed it, it will eat you. Whatever little issue we had going on, it's being starved out. And we found self-governance, self-mastery with the Emperor card. The Emperor and the Devil could also mean a tyrant, a dictator. With the Tower card present, they could mean wanting to wage war or oppress, control. Two of Swords with the Devil, I was saying there's been falsification of something. This is false documentation, false witness, false testimony. There's liars that want to defile and defame somebody's character. And we're Two of Cups trying to get on the same page. Two of Swords, these are people of an opposing mind. We're dealing with an energy, an entity, an ideology that wants to see our road blocked, our path not progress. Two of Swords. That means a blocked road. Two of Wands is an open road. That's all the twos are crossroads, but the Two of Cups means on the same page. Two of Swords means opposing sides. So I'm going to pause for a second because I'm hearing a song and I need to go find out what song it is. Okay, the name of the song is called Marvin's Room and it's on the Take Care album by Drake. And it feels like that. Like we have to be aware of who's around us, but it's not even that. Something about our insides is improving, increasing, and whether it's a former part of ourselves, a lower part of ourselves, like our shadow nature, whether it's old energies, entities, ideologies in the form of enemies, people that used to be friends, there's a clear transition we're making away from that energy, and it's not going to hold space for a lot of the goings on that used to go on. We might have used to co-sign or tolerate or allow certain energies, entities, vibrations, and people, places, and things, and environments surrounding locations. It's not going to be like that no more, and we're making changes. And that's really what this has been. And it's actually going to take place for the next 6 months. We're going to be ramping up. The thing about when the sun is your first house, it's your new year. I know a lot of people think the new year is around the Gregorian, you know, what is January. January 1st. No, it's yes, a little bit in the March, or if you're a traditional African religion like myself, it could be around the Libra new moon. But your personal new year is always when the sun is moving through your first house. If you don't know your rising sign, it's when the sun is conjunct to your north node. Okay? So take good care. We'll see you next month. Darling, happy birthday, Virgo. Vergone. I love you so much, darling. Take good care. See you in the next one. There's information in the show notes if you need it. And blessed solar return, dear, if you are a Virgo sun. Bye-bye. Oh, wait, we didn't say the prayer. Just a quick prayer for all those still lost out there to illusion, delusion, confusion, lost in the seeds of time, trapped somewhere in the matrix, yet to heal, yet to awaken, yet to return to the resplendent grace of the divine, unconditional, loving, universal oneness. Upon we love you, we're sorry. Please forgive us. Thank you. We ask that our steps be ordered, our path be illuminated, and that we find salvation and redemption in this life. May we be happy, may we be whole, may we be at peace, may we receive everything we ever wanted, starting with what we deserve. Take good care. See you in the next one. Ciao.